All right, welcome to Choppers Charts. We're going to go over my phase one of my backtesting strategy. This will be part one. We're going to split this into two phases, two parts to in getting started. Just because there's a lot to kind of gather here, so I wanted to break that up. So this is going to be the start of your experimental phase to finding your edge in trading. Experimental. So we really are trying to like play around and trying to work it out. Thomas Edison invented the light bulb 1,000 times before he figured it out. So this is kind of what you're going to be doing. You're going to be experimenting and trying to invent and find your edge. Here we're going to not worry about making money, just work on the technicals. We got to start this without the burden of making money. I know that's the ultimate goal in trading. I've heard over and over many times from trading gurus that, focus on the system, focus on your edge, focus on what's working, the money will come. So this is a good start, and try not to think about the money in this. We're just going to stick to simply getting techniques, getting things going to help build your edge. The goal of this phase one is to explore and track data to find what is working for you and your edge. So let's start this. We're going to go over how to find your instrument. This is going to be the first instrument that's going to build your edge, your trading rules. We're going to talk about finding your time frame, and we're going to talk about finding your session time. Finding your instrument. This can be stocks, futures, forex, or even crypto. I use futures. So this will work on whatever you're trading. The key here is to find one that you like, or at least think you will like. We can change it later. It's good to find one that you feel comfortable with. And this can be in many different ways. So consider how it moves in your market session too. We'll get to picking your market session near the end, but you want to know how it's moving. If you trade, let's say on futures, if you trade ES or YM, it's going to be more volatile during the New York Open than it will be in the Asian or the London session. So knowing your session will make a big difference. If you're a swing trader and you're picking something that moves in the New York session and you're asleep at that time, you might want something that's a little more even, like copper or something of that sort, that isn't as volatile. If you're an intraday trader, you want something that'll be active when you're able to trade. If you're trading New York market, you know that ES and YM are active during the New York market morning time frame. If you're London or Asian session, then you probably want something that might be a metals or energy or something of that sort to kind of that'll move in any market. So think about your time frame. Do you want to be an intraday trader or swing trader? That makes a big difference as well. If you're an intraday trader, you might want something a little more volatile, something that moves pretty good. If you're a swing trader, you might want to find something that's a little bit in the middle. You can have high, but play around with that. That's something that you're going to have to figure out. Consider if you're trading the open and what session you're trading. If you're trading an open, you want to know what's moving, and you may have to watch your instrument during your session open and stuff a few times and see how well it's moving. What kind of volatility are you looking for? Slow volatility. It's slow moving. It's, easy to focus on. Maybe some good volatility where you can have some good moves, but for the most part, it's kind of even kill or high volatility. The NQ would be a high volatility one. Likes to move a lot. Picking your instrument. This is sorry. This picking your instrument. This setup is very important. You want your instrument to work for you, for your style of trading. You want it to work for your session and time of trading. The goal is to know if the instrument is going to work with all your barriers and your living and working conditions. A good example, you're a parent, you have kids to take care of in the morning. You're too busy to pay attention to the charts. But maybe you have a couple hours, 2 or 3 hours before you go to work after the kids are off to school. Then maybe that's your trading period, whatever time that would be. Pick that time. You want that to be kind of the focus of your instrument and what'll be moving during that time. If you're a swing trader, you can pretty much check in throughout the day, and you can just kind of not, have something that's moving, but you want to make sure that that instrument does not move too much while you're asleep. This may change during this phase as you experiment. You may start with one instrument you thought was good, but later on down the road, as you're getting into it, you're like, this really isn't working, and that's okay. It's just going to slow the process down because you kind of almost have to start over. So don't let that deter you. We want a good instrument, one that we feel good about, one that is working for you to really build your edge and build your trading plan. Having this consistent for producing data is critical. That's the biggest key. If you're collecting data and you collected it on partially on one instrument, partially on another, and partially on a third, you're not getting consistent data. You're not producing consistent data. We want to start with one instrument. We want to start with that and have that be the one that you build your playbook and your edge off of. Now we're going to find our time frame. You kind of got an idea of your instrument. Now we want to try and find our time frame. What time frame are we going to trade? Think of your availability to trade with work and life. Think about, what you're going to do. If you've got a 3-hour window to trade every day, you're probably going to want to be a intraday trader, a lower time frame, so that you can take advantage of those few hours. If you have all day to trade, maybe you're doing more of like a 1-hour time frame, 30-minute time frame where you can, take care of stuff around the house or whatever you do, but still check in. Big part of this is risk has a factor with the time frame too. You will need to have a goal of what you plan to start live trading with. What's that budget going to be? What's that amount? Is it 5,000, 20,000, 50,000? Figure out what that amount is, because all of our trading is going to be based off of that starting capital that you picture having. Now, if you pick 5,000 and your starting capital ends up being 3,000, you'll be able to dial that down. If your starting capital is 5,000 and you actually end up getting done back testing and you're ready to go live and it's 10,000, that's great. You're prepared. But the biggest thing with trading is controlling that risk and keeping that risk in control. So that's a huge factor in this. All 4 phases will require building and experimenting with your starting capital size for best data collection. You want to get the best data you can. So think about what you're going to start trading with, and let's stick with that. Swing trading, 4-hour, 1-hour time frames are great. For swing trading, you will have a higher risk in the 4-hour. The 1-hour is a great one because you can swing trade it, or you can do an intraday. You could be in a trade for 8 hours and get out at the end of the day. You could trade longer and turn it into a swing trade and have that trade go for 2-3 days. So those are really good. The 4-hour very rarely is a intraday trade. Usually, typically 1 day to a week, maybe even longer. Intraday traders, 30-minute, 15-minute, 5-minute. The lower you go, the busier it is. Busier as in takes more of your attention. It's gonna, if you're in a 5-minute, you're gonna be staring at a chart for every candle. If you're in a 15-minute, you can get up, go make some coffee, come back. 30-minute, you got time to do the dishes and come back, or something of that sort. So know what you're capable of doing. If you got like a 3-hour time window, maybe the 5-minute might be really good because you're going to be able to get a couple trades in a 3-hour, 4-hour window. So 5-minute could fit that. Now we got our instrument. We have our time frame. We know where we're getting ready to trade. We know what we want. We need to figure out when we're able to and what that session is. This can be a tricky thing. You need to know your window of trading, when you can be focused and pay attention to the charts. Intraday traders, this may be more crucial for the lower time frames. As I said earlier, 15-minute, 5-minute, your trades will need more attention as they play out. So you're going to need to have some focused time on the charts. Higher time frames, 1-hour, 30-minute traders can have a little more breathing room, being able to check in on occasion, but not stuck to the charts. If you have a job and you have regular meetings that are 1 hour long, a 1-hour time frame might work for you if you're able to check on your phone or something during the meeting, kind of take a peek. But typically you're wanting to check your chart at least before the end and at the beginning of every new candle. So kind of picture it that way. Can I check on the chart at the end of the hour? Can I check on the chart at the end of 30 minutes? That's kind of that thinking in that spot. So that helps you pick that time frame of trading. Swing traders, 4-hour, 1 hour, you have a lot more room to check the chart. I mean, I'm a very busy job. I work as a construction project manager, and so I'm very busy. Throughout the day, I can get tied up for 2 hours without being able to check my phone or check charts. So for me, I'm a 4-hour trader because I know I can get to the charts at least once every 4 hours. So it's kind of have to get that thinking. Also, with the 4-hour trader, you're not really tied to a smaller window. You have a larger span of time. Um, I like I do all my prep before the New York Open. I watch the New York Open. I plan my trades for the New York Open, the New York session. But I can watch the charts clear up past that into the Asian session. I will not, on two of my instruments, I will not take a trade in the Asian session because I know that New York Open can affect it. I have one instrument that I can because I know it doesn't matter. It flows pretty well through all sessions. So knowing this stuff really helps. Um, and then with that, just on a final note, really take time to know these items: your instrument, your time frame, and session. Let's. This is an experiment, and it can, all can be changed. In this process, let's take some time, experimental trades in each time frame, and see how it feels. Go in. Let's say you got a pretty good window. Just kind of maybe not even in backtest, maybe in live trade, like paper trading. Maybe just try to play around with it. Don't worry about the money. Don't worry about whether it's a win or a loss. But just see if you're capable of paying attention to the charts and what's going on. See if you can focus on the 5 minute or the 15 minute or the 1 hour or the 30 minute. Just kind of play around with it and see how it's working for you. Do a little experimentation. Again, do not focus on the dollars. Don't worry if the trade's good or bad. Don't let that be your judgment. We're going to fine tune that through these 4 phases. We're going to fine tune and make that work later. So without focusing on that, you're just focusing on the feel. You want to try a few instruments if you're not sure. Kind of get a feel of what's going on. Watch how they move during your trading times. Pay attention to how volatile they are. Experiment with the time frames, 5 minute, 15 minute. Find what's feeling comfortable for you. And I'm going to stress it over and over again. Do not focus on whether you're winning trades or losing trades, because we will take care of that later. If you focus on, I got 3 good wins on this in the 5 minutes, so this is my instrument. And then as we go, that happened to be a fluke. So it's not solid. We're totally experimenting. Do you feel comfortable? That's the final question you need to ask yourself when you have made a choice. Do you feel comfortable with this time frame? Do you feel comfortable with this instrument? Do you feel comfortable with this trading session? Does this fit your lifestyle? Is this going to be something you can apply comfortably? Again, don't make your choice because I made money. I cannot stress this enough. We will work on the money part in phase 4. We just need to get our edge established first. So this is the first part 1 of my phase 1. My next video will come out and we'll go through part 2. And this is going to be how to start that experimentation. Now, once you got this instrument, you got your time frame, you got your session, we're going to dig a little deeper and we're going to start playing around and we're going to start experimenting and getting a really good feel of stuff, and we're going to really try to work hard to get your edge developed. That's all I got right now for this part. If there's any questions, I'll take them. That sounds good to me. I hope this makes sense, and let's get started. We'll see you on part 2 of phase 1. Thank you.